Hello, Senior 2, how are you? We are going to talk about in this term about two chapters which are very interesting. The first chapter is talking about the excretion in human beings, and this chapter we will learn about how animals and plants and human beings can excrete their wastes. Okay, let's start our syllabus for this term by our first lesson. Okay. Excretion in living organisms. This is the name of our chapter. We are going to talk about how the living organisms get rid of their wastes and undigested food. Okay, let's start. Let's start in the excretion in man. What is the meaning of excretion? Excretion is a process by which the living organisms get rid of wastes products that are produced from the biological process. We knew that our body always making a biological process. دايما البادي بتاعنا شغال ليل مع نهار making biological process with the help of chemicals, with the help of enzymes, and so on. These biological processes produce biological wastes. The biological waste there, I must get rid of it. ليه? Because if this waste are accumulated in my body, the body will, its function will stop, and the body may get hurt and die. Okay, let's start in the excretion in animals. Animals have this, many types of animals. There are primitive animals and more developed animals. So the excretion in the primitive animals, of course, will be different than that in the more developed animals. Okay, let's start with the word excretion. To take the word excretion, I have to know that لما أقول excretion or excretory product must the waste leave the body through plasma membrane, يعني from cell to cell through the plasma membrane. Okay, يبقى this, to say that this waste is excretory material, لازم you pass through the cell membranes from cell to cell, okay, until it gets out of the body. Okay, the important waste product present in our body, in the animals, for all animals and human beings, the water and carbon dioxide that are produced from the degeneration of organic molecules. The water and carbon dioxide, very, if they are accumulated inside our bodies, they are very dangerous. Okay, so I must get rid of any of them. Any excess water and carbon dioxide that are produced mainly from the degeneration or degradation of the organic molecules. And we must get rid of nitrogenous wastes products, any products that like ammonia or urea, uric acid. These products, which contains nitrogen in their structure, we must get rid of it. These products comes from results from the protein degradation. Okay. There are some materials that are not considered as excretory materials. Then زي مين اللي is not excretory material but they are waste and I must get rid of them برضو. Okay, best I cannot name them excretory materials. These are the undigested food that goes out from the animal body in the form of feces. Okay, undigested food دوت which is formed in our large intestine, okay, and present in our rectum to be ejected out of the body through the anus. دوت undigested food that is not considered a excretory product. طب why؟ اشمعنى مع ان هو waste وده حاجه it's very dangerous for the body بس دوت it didn't pass through the plasma membrane. فبالتالي يعني we get rid of it without passing through the plasma membrane. بس the body ejected out through the anus because it leaves the body without passing through the plasma membrane. Number 2 كمان من materials which are wastes but not considered excretory product, the nitrogen. The nitrogen in the air which enters the lung is in the inspiration and leaves it in expiration. اللي هو ايه؟ يعني inhalation and exhalation. اخذنا الاير كله اللي هو فيه nitrogen, oxygen, carbon dioxide and so and so and so. And air components, one of the air components is the nitrogen. And nitrogen enter with the air in the inhalation and exit تاني in the exhalation without passing through the plasma membrane, because it enters and leaves the body without passing through the plasma membrane. So what is the function of the excretory organs in higher animals? In function of the excretory organs, two main functions. Number one is the disposal of damaged and poisonous material, and I need to get rid of any damaged and poisonous material in my body, and the regulation of body contents of minerals. Okay, I have to regulate my minerals in my body, okay, to be stable body. Okay, so this is the function of excretory organs. معنى كده I need an excretory organ to get rid of the excretory waste. أكيد. Okay, طيب what are these organs that make this function اللي هو disposal regulation. Disposal any damaged and poisonous material, and regulation للbody contents of the minerals. What are they? The following table represents the important waste product of the human body and the organs responsible for their excretion. I have main organs that I can call them excretory organs. The first one is the lungs. Number two is the kidneys, skin, and liver. Okay, they are only four: lungs, kidneys, skin, and liver. They are the excretory organs. طب where is the intestine في الموضوع؟ الانتستين دوت we get rid of it, we get rid of the undigested food through the intestine. يبقى ليه ما I cannot say that the large intestine is one of the excretory organ? I cannot say that because it is excretory products بتاعتهم it didn't pass through the plasma membrane, so I cannot name the intestine as an excretory organ. Okay, so let's see the materials that excreted as waste product through the lungs. The lungs, we can get rid of a carbon dioxide through the lungs. We can get the water برضو through the lungs. We can get spices through the lungs, but the only volatile substance منهم من spices through the lungs. Okay, يبقى I have carbon dioxide, water, and spices from the lungs. And I can get water برضو excreted from the kidneys and the skin, and nitrogenous waste also برضو من kidneys and the skin, but the small percentage من nitrogenous waste comes out through the skin. Salts mainly kidneys and skin. Spices كمان في some spices which is not volatile spices excreted through the kidneys, and poisonous material through the kidneys or the liver, where the liver is very, very important because it turns the poisonous material, transfer them into non-poisonous forms in the body or into non-soluble form عشان ما يأثروليش على البادي. Okay, بيحولوا أي poisonous material, أي unwanted material to a non-poisonous one and insoluble one to get rid of it. Okay, so what is the common excretory organ between all of them? مين المين common؟ عندي lungs, skin, kidney, liver. مين لقيتها متكررة في كذا حاجة؟ هي الكدنيز. So the kidneys are the common excretory organ between many things، لأن هي الكدني excreted the water, nitrogenous waste, salts, spices, poisonous material. كل دول كلهم common في الكدني. Okay, that question number 2. The large intestine is not one of the excretory organs. Why? Why the large intestine is not one of the excretory organs? Because the excretory products that comes out through the large intestine مالها is not, it doesn't pass through the plasma membrane, so I cannot consider them as excretory product. I consider them as wastes only. Okay. Okay, let's move back to the excretion inside man. But before we enter the excretion inside man, we know that there are خلاص عرفنا 4 excretory organs. Number 1 is the skin, liver, lungs, and kidneys. We are going to talk mainly about the skin and the kidneys. Okay, so let's start the excretion in man. The important excretory organ in man's body are skin, kidneys, and liver. Okay, the skin والkidneys and the liver. تمام. Okay, والlungs of course, but they are هنا أكتر حاجات مهمة. lungs كمان. السكين دوت هو it is the biggest organ in the body as it covers the whole body and the limbs from the outside and it adheres to it by fat layer. This skin, our skin, is very very important. ليه؟ لأنه أولا it is the largest a largest organ inside our in our body هو السكين. ليه؟ Because it covers the whole body. Okay. كمان it adheres the body with a fatty layer. ماسكة في البادي بتاعنا ب fatty layer. Let's start with its structure. The skin structure consists of 2 main layers. The outer layer, which is called epidermis, and the inner layer, which is called the dermis. Okay, يبقى عندي I have 2 main parts, the outer layer which is called the epidermis and the main layer which is called the dermis. كل دي dermis. Okay, epidermis ديت already epidermis consists of several layers of epithelial cells. We have talked to the epithelial cells before وعرفنا ان الابيثيليال cells دول cells كده beside each other, circular او oval shaped cells, very يعني simple cells that اي epi من name epi يعني covering اي surface. Okay, they are formed mainly from parenchyma cells and this epithelial cells cover there are several layers in the skin. Okay, the surface layer epidermis ديت is formed of surface layer و inner layer. A surface layer consists of dead cells, which is very important point ان هي dead cells. دي مين؟ دي surface layer بتاعت مين؟ بتاعت الابيديرمز، بتاعت مين؟ بتاعت skin. Of course. So the surface layer, which is consists of dead cells full of horny substance called keratin. هي ايه الامبورتنس of the keratin؟ الكيراتين او الهورني سبستانس ديت هي اللي بي protect the body from any microbes. any microbes يجي على السكين بتاعنا الهورني لايرز ديت تقدر to eject it out من غير ما او تمنع دخوله prevent its penetration to the skin or through the skin to our bodies. Okay, so this is why the horny layer composed of the surface layer of the cell composed of horny substance which are called keratin. Okay, the surface layer also arises from the migration of cells of the inner layer of epidermis. This means that in the inner layer ادي الابيديرمز عندي اوكي ديت الاوتر لاير وديت الانر لاير. الانر لاير دايما هي اللي give arise to the epidermis, the first layer, the surface layer. دايما هي اللي بتعمل renew the cells in the surface layer. اوكي يبقى ده دي the second part and it is worn out. the surface layer دي على طول worn out and continuously replaced from the beneath because it always subjected to friction. دايما we always rub our hands and faces and the body with towel or rubbing your hands. كل دوت بيحصل ان الديد layer ديت السيلز او السيرفيس layer ديت بتقع. Okay, falls down. So I need to, they will be worn out. I need to replace them. طب I can replace them منين? From the inner layer of the epidermis. The inner layer بقى it makes continuous replacement of the surface layer. خلاص عرفنا. Number 2, its base contains pigment cell. البيس بتاعها has pigment cell which secretes granules called melanin. ايه هو الميلانين بقى؟ الميلانين ده pigments that are responsible for the color of the skin. pigments صبغة responsible for the color of the skin. يعني كل واحد عنده الميلانين دوت ببرسنتج مختلفة. اوكي، كل ما الميلانين زاد كل ما الكالر بقى ايه more pale افتح. اوكي، يبقى عرفنا ايه which surface of the skin هي اللي responsible for the appearance of color. هي الابيديرمز inner layer. يبقى انا لو جيت سالت what how our body how our color appears or from which part of the skin, I will say that the epidermis, the inner layer of the epidermis. Why? Because it contains the melanin. Why melanin? What is the function of the melanin? It gives the body its color, give the skin its color. Okay. Okay, let's بقى go to the derm, the other layer which is the derms. هي ديت the beneath the epiderms. هي أنا عندي derms و epiderms. الإبي هي الفوق، أي حاجة إبي يبقى هي cover، والderms هي اللاير اللي بعديها. الderms ديت بقى إيه كبيرة شوية. هي next to the epiderms consists of connective tissues. Okay, and this layer contains blood capillaries, nerve endings, lymphatics, sweat glands, subcutaneous glands اللي هي الفات glands, fatty cells, hair follicle and hair muscle. يا دي this layer بقى فيها فعلا حاجات كتير جدا. شايفين this layer which is called the derms has blood vessels, has حاجة اسمها sweat glands. ايه يا ترى السويت glands؟ هنعرف. has hair follicle عندها الهير، has fats. شايفين fats قد ايه؟ اوكي، has connective tissues. التيشوز اللي ماسكه فيها connective tissues. has ايه كمان؟ has الفاتي glands. has muscles كمان that this muscles that connected to the hair follicle. اوكي، يبقى ايه تاني؟ الderms consist of many things. Let's start with the sweat glands. Let's talk about the sweat gland. Number one, the sweat gland دي أهم حاجة في السكين إن إحنا نعرف فيها إن السويت gland دي is the functional unit of the skin. يعني إيه functional unit؟ يعني هي اللي makes the main function which is the إيه getting rid of wastes اللي هي by إيه؟ by sweat from A through sweat. يبقى إحنا بنعمل على طول sweating في جسمنا، على طول بيعمل sweating مش في السمر بس، لا في الوينتر والسمر. ليه؟ to get rid of wastes. مين اللي get rid of wastes في السكين؟ السويت جلاند. هو اللي بتقدر بالسويت جلاند دي تقدر تاخد تكستراكت الويستس، الووتر، المينرالز and get rid of them through pores. كده فين البورز ديت؟ في الابيديرمال لاير. في الابيديرمز موجوده البورز بتاعت السويت جلاندز. يبقى السويت جلاند already present in the derms layer and we get rid through the pores, get rid through this of the sweat through the pores which is present in the epidermal layer. Okay. Okay, so this is the sweat gland, sweat pore and the sweat tubule. Okay, it is the functional unit of the excretion in skin. It is called the tube and reaches the skin surface through the sweat pores. Okay, بتعمل ايه؟ What is the function of it? It extracts the sweat. The sweat glands extract the sweat, water and some waste from the blood. This sweat is produced on the surface of the skin. Why بقى؟ طب ليه هي أصلا بتعمل كده؟ To decrease the body temperature. احنا بنعمل sweating عشان أقلل ال body temperature inside my body. Okay؟ فبالتالي أبتدي my body returns back to its constant and stable state. Some waste remains that cause skin to be sticky. يعني some waste remains on the sweat pores كده وما تتمسحش. ايه اللي بيحصل فيها؟ بتعمل ايه؟ cause the skin to be sticky and sweat pores becomes plugged and resulting in a very unpleasant odor. Okay, so it's important to remove these wastes continuously by washing. يبقى we must wash our faces, wash our hands, wash our body على طول. ليه؟ to get rid of any waste accumulated on the sweat pores so they can exit the sweat normally. Okay, number 2, the hair follicle. The hair follicle, it is made, the hair follicle, sorry, it is present برضو في الديرمز layer it eject out through the epidermis. Okay, our bodies and the animal body has these hairs, الhair follicle دي present في الديرمز and eject from the body through the epidermis. It is made of hair follicle عامله كده بالظبط, surrounded by many blood capillaries, عندها many blood capillaries, we supplied with erect muscle, كمان ماسكه فيها erect muscle. ايه الerect muscle ديت؟ عشان to move it when يعني نخلي الهير دي move during a contraction and relaxation of the hands, the legs and so on. فبالتالي ان الهير تتحرك بطبيعتها by the help of this muscle. كمان it has three endings. There is at its three endings there is a subcutaneous أو fat glands. الفات glands دول produce oily secretion. ليه produce oily secretion? To facilitate the exit of the hair from the skin, وكمان to keep the hair soft and pliable. Okay, I must this sweat this fat gland very very important, هي اللي بتدينا oily touch of the skin so that the hair can eject easily and it becomes soft and pliable. Okay, number 3, the sensory nerve endings. النيرف endings اللي موجودين inside the derms دولت ايه اهميتهم؟ they respond to touch, pain and temperature. any change in touch, any change in temperature, nerve endings give alarm to the body. any pain, any touch, كل دوت بنحس بيه ايه because of the presence of nerve endings اللي هي present already في الديرمز. اوكي في الديرمز layer. اوكي let's بقى continue the kidney in the other session. طيب I will ask you a question and you have to just يعني think of it. Okay. If we have carbon dioxide, nitrogen, water, and urea, all of that all of the following are from the excretory products except مين فيهم؟ كلهم من excretory products. مين again? carbon dioxide, nitrogen, water, and urea. يا ترى مين فيهم اللي مش excretory product? I need you to think of this question and answer it in the law. I will answer it in the next session. Goodbye and see you.